Yesterday, our little family was driving up to Seattle. Here I am in a gray, classic, rainy, cold Seattle morning, and I was listening to a podcast by Stephen Bartlett on Diary of a CEO and Scott Galloway. Love Scott Galloway. I've read his books, and he said one thing that really hit me hard, which is why I love listening to podcasts consistently, and I'm sure you do too, because it's like you can just pick up these golden nuggets of wisdom from those conversations with people who might be smarter than you, more successful than you, more ambitious than you, just great thought leaders and thinkers. And he said something regarding rejection and how especially our young men today have gotten so used to never having rejection. There were some statistics he mentioned about adult males between the ages of 18 and I think 24 who rarely go on dates. And it's because we're living in this world where it's just easier to hide behind your computer. It's easier to talk to AI and get affirmation that way. It's easy to stay in that comfort zone where we don't actually get faced with rejection very often. And one thing that he said about that was the more comfortable you can get with big rejection, with getting no, you're building character, you're building courage. And it's not even about getting the thing as much as it is about building that muscle, because if you build that muscle, ironically, you will get the thing. So, and he talked about Elon Musk for a little bit, just how Elon is like on another level. I mean, years ago, 10 years ago, it would have said he would have landed rockets, and these little chopsticks, like it would have been laughable. But he gets used to that rejection and just goes for it anyway. Now, the thing about that is we don't need to, in our individual lives, be Elon Musk level thinkers. It can just be 10% more courage, a 10% bigger ask, asking a little bit more for the sale. It can be asking for coffee with someone who seems out of our league in terms of social circles. And the more you do it, the more you build that muscle. And so I feel like I get stuck in these comfort periods of time where I'm not actually stretching myself to the level that I need to. And I think particularly for men over the age of 40, we get pretty settled in. Family, work, some hobbies, maybe working out a little bit, go to bed, do it all the next day. And it was a real wake-up call for me listening to that, to think I need to continue to stretch myself. I've been in sales and consulting for many years, and so I would consider myself to be, I guess, probably above average in terms of dealing with rejection and getting no's. I think you have to if you're in any type of sales capacity. But we still can get in that comfort zone where we're just kind of doing the same things over and over, not really stretching. So a few things that I took away that I'm going to implement: ask for 10% more with sales, with ambitions for meetings, for partnerships. It just got me really thinking. People can apply for jobs that might seem out of their league, not like recklessly and stupidly, but stretching ourselves a little bit. I think it was so interesting listening to Scott Galloway, because he's talking about these social circles of, oh, I have this friend that just raised $600 million for this company, this friend that is on his private jet, and this. It's like there's always these other levels of what people just think is acceptable, and oftentimes we just kind of seem to settle at the level that's comfortable for us. And I think a lot of that comes from our upbringing. A lot of that comes from our parents. If we grew up middle class, we tend to feel pretty comfortable in the middle class, and that next level kind of seems like a stretch. So This was a pretty eye-opening podcast. I'd highly recommend it. But asking all of ourselves this week, how can we stretch just 10% more? How can we get comfortable building that courage muscle more often? Not making yes the goal, but actually making no the goal. And then sitting with it. Maybe you mourn it for a second, but then knowing that at the end of the day, maybe you got 5 rejections. Maybe that's the goal, 5 rejections a day. And by the end of the week, you've practiced that Monday through Friday, you got 25 rejections. But guess what? You're probably going to see some pretty big shifts in your character, what you're able to ask for, how you perceive things. So yeah, here we go to rejection. Let's go. Appreciate you guys letting me share this, and hope everyone has a wonderful day.